Hi friends, thanks so much for tuning into my channel and checking out another one of my videos. My name is Elizabeth and I am an addict in recovery who is using the spiritual laws and principles such as law of attraction to overcome all my issues and live a life of prosperity and abundance. Pull up a seat, guys. Grab your coffee or whatever it is, your drink of choice, and get comfortable because I think today is going to be a good one. I do want to apologize for my little hiatus. I know I've been gone for a minute and haven't uploaded a video in a few weeks. Many of you don't know, some of you do, but many of you don't know that I have just gone through a prolonged illness. I am not the type of person that gets sick. I had not been sick for years, except for last September when Hurricane Irma went through Florida. I was living in Daytona Beach at the time, and I don't know what happened, but that hurricane hit, and bada bing, bada boom, it knocked me bada out. It knocked me bada down, okay? I don't know what happened, guys. When I was a little girl, I used to get sick. I'd have these asthma, it's a funny name, but it's actually called asthma asthmaticus. That's the medical term or name for it. And I used to get that when I was growing up. I had asthma and I would get these long, prolonged periods where I couldn't breathe. And back when I was a little girl, unfortunately, they didn't have rescue inhalers, so I would suffer for weeks on end. While my poor grandmother, who pretty much she was the one who raised me, my poor grandmother would try her damnedest to build these, like, you know, she would use blankets and stuff to try to build like these tents over my bed, and use a vaporizer machine. So probably many of you are old enough to remember the old Vicks vaporizer machines. You know, you just put the Vicks in and it lets the steam out. And that was really all we had to try to help me breathe. But anyway, it lasted for weeks at a time. And they told, you know, they told my family that I would grow out of this asthma by the time I was 7. I didn't. It took really till I was about 12. But I did eventually grow out of it, like they said I would. So, you guys know, you know, I'm a recovering addict. So, you know, many years of drug use. I never really had an issue. Every once in a while, I would get an asthma attack because I was also a smoker. Dumb, 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 right? Can't accuse me of being a genius, okay? So, yeah, so I'm a smoker, and every once in a while I have an asthma attack, hit my rescue inhaler. I'm good. Keep it moving. Well, Hurricane Irma hits in Florida. I drop. Like, I get this asthma attack. I can't breathe. I hit my inhaler. And literally, it was like the inhaler made me worse. It was like I just physically dropped. And I stayed there. I crawled from the floor into my grandmother-in-law's lazy boy, and that's where I stayed for about 17 hours. Until finally, it was like, it's pretty obvious I'm not gonna get up out of here. So I had to take myself to the hospital, where I was admitted for 7 days. Needless to say, I did end up quitting smoking. I had been trying. I've tried many, many times to quit smoking. But this time, I did it. And I'm gonna do a video on how to quit smoking too, because I finally figured it out. And once I figured out what I really needed to do to quit smoking, it really wasn't that hard. It really wasn't. Okay? It's about choices, people, really. You know, what's more important to you? That's really what it boils down to with everything in your life. What is more important to you? Where are your priorities? So, anyway, cut to now this year. A couple of hurricanes came through here, and after the second hurricane, I, again, you know, maybe a week or so went by, but I couldn't, it finally hit me to where I couldn't breathe. 1 week goes by. 2 weeks goes by. Finally, I go see a doctor. This isn't going away. They give me antibiotics and steroids. 3 weeks goes by. 4 weeks goes by. Nothing's helping. Nothing's helping. They up my dosage of steroids. 3 more days go by. Yeah, I go to the emergency room because nothing's helping. That's very scary when you have an illness that modern medicine, whatever they do for you, just doesn't seem to touch it. That's very scary. And, you know, this last year, I've been setting up goals, knocking them down. Setting up goals, knocking them down. Setting up goals, knocking them down. And I really thought that I had overcome a lot of this stuff. Okay? Get out of the hospital, spend a few days in the hospital getting the IV steroids and the breathing treatments and all this new kind of medicine for my, I'm not using a regular inhaler now, I am, but I'm using that in combination with the long acting and the short acting, and plus one of those machines, those albuterol machines, but it's not albuterol, it's, anyway, several different medicines. Get home out of the hospital, I actually was feeling pretty good. I thought, this is it, I'm feeling much better. Go home, sleep Sunday night, wake up Monday morning, my face swollen again. Chest wheezy, can't breathe again. That scared the shit out of me. It did. Straight up, very honest. When I woke up that Monday morning in my house and with that same issue right back to where I was before I went to the hospital, that threw me for a loop, people. And confession time, I ended up just throwing myself in the bed with the covers over my head, feeling sorry for myself. Yeah. Depressed. I found myself back into a depression that was spurred on by a long-acting illness. Thank God that I'm such a analytical person. I think that's what's saving me, you know, is that I really tend to look at things from every perspective that I can. And I do tend to pick things and, pick things apart and analyze things. So I was angry as well, because I'm angry because it's like, here I am back here again, feeling sorry for myself. And I knew what to do, right? I knew I should be meditating. I knew I needed to be feeling grateful for things. And, I had goals that I wanted to accomplish. So that I was set to take a week's vacation from my job anyway. But what I did was I ended up bumping up that week's vacation 2 weeks because I was sick and I needed to go to the hospital, and I just, I needed to focus on getting better. So I bumped my vacation up 2 weeks ahead of schedule. But anyway, I had these goals that I did want to accomplish on my vacation. And so I wanted to do that regardless whether I was sick or not. I was going to be home, so I might as well do it, you know. But I ended up laying in the bed, you know, watching back-to-back episodes of Supernatural. Okay? That's what I did. I didn't accomplish one damn thing I wanted to accomplish, you know? So, what do? You know, here's the thing, you know, when you, especially if you've been an addict, a drug addict, you know, and you're in recovery, sometimes things that can come along, you know, life happens, right? But now all of a sudden, I'm not dealing with things the way I used to, right? I've worked very hard to change my belief systems, my thoughts, actions, and behaviors. So, you know, I don't react in the same way that I used to when life happens, in that really what I used to do was really not react to a situation. It was more I would try to run and hide from it and numb myself. You know, I could go out and get high. You know, if I was sick, and maybe, you know, it's ironic because it's like, was I not sick for the last 20 years because I was using? You know, like, it's very ironic how when you're not taking care of yourself, it's like boom, 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 you know. Your body just goes and goes and goes. And then it's like you're trying to get healthy and make better decisions for yourself, and then boom, you're hit with this illness, and you just, and for me, I just, you know, I couldn't get better, you know. And then I know the right things I should be doing, and I'm not doing it. So, you know, recovery takes vigilance, and it takes work. And I've said this many times, and I'll continue to say it. It is not easy. It is not easy. Because it is work. But it is simple. And you have to give yourself credit when you know what to do, you know? So, I didn't accomplish any of the goals. I was watching back-to-back episodes of Supernatural. Then I start giving myself the talk. Your self-talk is the key to mastering your life. Point blank, period. The way you talk to yourself is the most important thing. The conversation between your ears is the only one that matters. So this is how Elizabeth talks to herself. Self, you want to be successful. Well, let me tell you something. Successful people don't sleep till 10, 11, 12 o'clock in the morning. Get up, eat a bowl of ice cream, and go back to bed for the rest of the day and watch TV. And it's a choice, Elizabeth. You know, are you going to choose to get up early in the morning and do what you need to do? Because that's what it boils down to, is how important is it to you? How important is it to you? You better quit laying around feeling sorry for yourself, because ain't nobody else around here to kick you in the ass and get you up and moving. It's you and you, boo. And you've got a daughter to take care of too, who's depending on you. However, you know what, Elizabeth? You are a human being. And you know what? Maybe You just, you've been going and going and going this year, and you've accomplished a hell of a lot of goals. And you've come a long way. And you really have done a lot to begin to master your own life. And there is a time for everything. To everything there is a season. It says it in the Bible, it says it in the Tao, and it probably says it in every other religious book too. To every turn there is a season. There's a time and a place for everything. And maybe this week was your week to just check out of life. Maybe you needed a minute. Maybe that's why you couldn't get better. You needed a minute to just sit. To just sit your ass down for a minute. Okay? I have to be okay with that. Is it time wasted? If I am going to choose to live in the present moment and choose to master my life, then I have to know that it wasn't wasted time. It was a minute that I needed to recharge my battery. It was a minute that I needed to regroup. And the fact of the matter is that it took the whole week, but come Saturday, when my feet hit the floor, I felt like me again. I felt like Elizabeth Combs again. I was back, baby. I hadn't been able to clean my house for weeks. Couldn't breathe. Couldn't do anything. Couldn't hardly walk from one room to the other without being out of breath. Couldn't exert myself at all. Got up, cleaned my house, did all that laundry that was backed up. Mopped all the floors, Had a productive day. I was back. And Monday I was back to work, and here it is Tuesday, and I'm making a YouTube video. So I took a minute. That is how you overcome depression, illness, or any obsessive thought related issue, okay? And if you're an addict, and you can, I have a girlfriend she gets addicted to people, she thinks obsessively about, people. She gets really kind of focused. She can be very focused and obsessive about one person. When she gets into a relationship, it's like, it's all about that other person. And if that other person rejects her, that's all she can think about, is that other person, that rejection. So, when we're talking about addiction here and obsessive issues, we're not just talking about drugs and alcohol. If you are a person who's addicted to anything, you spend a lot of time in obsessive thought. Okay, that's compulsive behavior, obsessive compulsive behavior. And so it's very hard to just willpower an obsessive brain to get it to do what you want it to do. That the brain is broken. How does a broken brain fix itself? Okay, so is there an answer for that? Is there a cure for that? Absolutely. Absolutely. You have to prioritize. You have to ask yourself the right questions. And most importantly, you have to ask yourself the right questions in the right way. For obsessive compulsive people like us, the way we overcome depression is through loving self-talk, okay? Now, when I was laying in the bed with the covers over my head, very depressed, you know, my brain wants to go to those negative places. The one good thing about me vegging out on the supernatural was that that was time that my brain wasn't stuck in that obsessive thought, you know. That was giving my mind that break that it needed. Because if I hadn't had that to distract me, I would have been stuck really feeling sorry for myself. Because, you know, God forbid if a commercial came on, or, you know, I got up to go to the bathroom, that's what my brain was doing. It was woe was me, woe was me, woe was me. Okay? So you have to choose loving self-talk. You know, I have a whole habitual process that I do every morning where, you know, I say what I'm grateful for. I wasn't even doing that week. And I knew if I did that, I would feel better. So I would do it, like when I got up to go to the bathroom or something, I would catch myself in those negative thought patterns, you know, because I was beating myself up about the fact that I was even in that negative thought pattern because I thought I had overcome that already. You know, so the thought process was like, oh, I can't believe I'm like this. I can't believe I'm doing this. You know, am I ever going to overcome these issues? Am I always going to be this person who falls into depressions, you know, periodically through my life? Right? That's the conversation that my brain is having with me when I just let it go. Right? So I gotta rein that shit in. I gotta put a hook in it, okay, and reel that shit in. Reel it in. And I have to look in the mirror and give myself that space, you know, forgive myself. You know what? Elizabeth, you're a human being. You know, so what? You know, you were sick for 4 or 5 weeks and you took 4 or 5 days to feel sorry for yourself. You took 4 or 5 days where you didn't do your meditation, you know. You took 4 or 5 days and you beat yourself up. Okay, fine. It didn't last as long as it used to. You're a human being, and the fact of the matter is now, today is Saturday, it's a new day, and you do feel like you again, and you can start fresh now, today. The reason I am so big on gratitude, guys, is because it really is the cure for everything. Now, sorry, let me go back to what I was originally saying. Is that even though when I would go to the bathroom and I'd start to have those thoughts, I would say what I was grateful for. I would say, you know, I am grateful that, you know, I even have a job where I can take a week off. You know, I would find something. And no, I didn't necessarily feel it because, you know, my brain just didn't want to produce those feel-good chemicals for me. It just didn't. But I still said it, and I still went through those emotions because I wanted to stay vigilant. You know, because there comes a time when we have to really speak to ourselves in this way and say, you know what? Addiction, you know what? Obsessive compulsion, you're not in the driver's seat anymore. I am. Me, the higher self. Me, and I love me today. And I'm grateful today. And even though I don't feel it in this moment, I'm going to say it. I'm going to say what I'm grateful for. Because I promise you that the fact that I was even doing that for those 4 or 5 days, even though I wasn't necessarily feeling it, the fact that I was doing that, and also the fact that I found a distraction, okay, for me it was episodes, back-to-back episodes of Supernatural, but when you're in that state, you need to find something, a feel-good movie, something on the outside that you can absorb, you know. Listen to Wayne Dyer, listen to the fact that you're watching this video now, you know, if you're going through the motions where you're actively seeking you know, because you can't perceive a vibration that you're not in. You wouldn't be watching this video if you weren't in that vibration of growth and healing, you know. We'll talk more about that. I want to go into spiritual levels because they're important. It's important to know what spiritual level you're on and how to continue to grow. And after every episode that I have like that, or that I've had in my life where I kind of went down, it gave me like a launch even further upwards. So I have a feeling that this is what this is gonna do, you know, because I feel good, I'm back to me, and now I'm going to, with my analytical mind, I'm gonna go back and kind of pick that situation apart and just kind of figure out, you know, what went wrong, you know, what wasn't I doing, you know, a couple days before that, before I fell into the depression that put me there. What could I have done different, you know? But I wouldn't ever be able to get there if I didn't allow myself the space to be able to look at that situation and say, it's okay. It's okay. The world did not stop turning because Elizabeth Combs decided to stay in bed for a week, right? The world kept turning. Everybody went on with their lives. Everybody at my job was okay. And let me tell you something else. My BFF, my ride or die, checked on me every single day. And she took care of my daughter while I was in the hospital. And I was able to really hold on to that as part of my gratitude of how grateful I am to have a ride or die friend like that. I love her so much, you know. She's so amazing. And how amazing and how lucky, what a great person I must be to have someone like that in my life. And then my coworker, you know, I work in a place where it's only him and I who do the job that we do. You know, he checked on me every day. Every day. How are you doing? How you feeling? And I was able to kind of cry on his shoulder about how I wasn't doing so great. And he supported me and he prayed for me. And, you know, it really let me know, you know, that he, you know, truly cared for me. And so what a blessing, you know. So when we go through these things, you know, we can't perceive them as good or bad. We just have to perceive them as the experience that they are. Take the good out of it. Every good little, I'm going to squeeze that tomato until I have every piece of juice out of it, right? Because I want all the good out of it, all the growth out of it. And that's how I overcome depression. That's how I overcome my obsessive thought. Get grateful and breathe and breathe. In fact, I want to take a moment right now. All of us, just take a moment with me. Take a nice deep breath in through the nose. And through the mouth. And just listen. As you breathe in and out, and listen to the sound of the breath. You see how within a few breaths, just a few breaths, you can feel the vibration. You can start to feel the tingling and the vibrations in your body. It really is that simple to take that moment to connect to the divine. Just like that. Remember to breathe. And in that breath, as you breathe in and breathe out, I'm so grateful that I'm able to connect with the divine right now. I'm so grateful I have ... Fill in the blank. Okay? It's a choice It's your choice if you actually stopped to breathe with me in that moment. It's your choice not to do it. But if you're suffering from depressive, obsessive, compulsive issues, and you have an opportunity, even for a moment, to break away from that, and you don't take it, that is your free will choice. So how important is it to you? How bad do you really want the great things in life? Are you willing to stop and take that breath? Are you willing to stop for a minute and be grateful for something? Such a tiny, small action that the universe asks you for. I promise you, if you do this, I believe your life will change enormously. I believe you will make an entire parallel shift to be the version of you that you really want to be. That's all I got for today, guys. Thanks for stopping and having a cup of coffee with me. I hope what I said adds value to your life. If anything I said in this video has helped you, please hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Please do. And most importantly, if you know anyone who will benefit at all from this message or this video, please share it. All right? Leave the comments. Put in the comments down below what you're grateful for. I love seeing that. Take a minute to be grateful. And then create your day. All right. Namaste. See you soon.